Okay, so this video is going to be about getting the call and Pearl coming out of surgery. So as I said previous, they said go do something. So I went, and I was expecting actually it to be, 3, 4, 5 hours, right? And it very well could have been. But I think it was 2.5 hours later, I get a phone call and they say, Pearl's out of surgery. If you want to, she's out of surgery. Surgery went well. They explained to me what they did by the cecum just being rotated, not having to repair anything. And so they sewed her back up and she was in the recovery room. But it was going to be probably another couple hours until she fully come out of recovery. So they usually don't want you around when the horse is coming out of sedation because they have them in like a padded room, like a little box stall that's just padded, because when they get up they're gonna thrash around and it's not gonna be a pretty sight. And as a horse owner, I think it'd be hard to watch that, so they don't want you around, which was fine with me as long as I knew she was okay coming out. So they did warn me. They said sometimes when a horse is coming out of sedation like that, they will get injured, just because of they're trying to fight that sedation. So they said come back in couple hours and you'll be able to see her. So there's me sitting and waiting, and so finally I just drove back and sat and waited until they came to get me and allowed me in to see Pearl. And she was very, very dopey in the stall. I mean, I've seen horses sedated before, but not like this. She was very unresponsive but yet responsive. I remember walking up to her stall and meanwhile trying not to have another freak out because I was very emotional obviously about this. But I remember walking up to her stall and her head, everything was just level. She was just kind of hanging out there sedated. And I walked up there and she actually lifted her head like little bit and like looked at me. And it was kind of a thank you, I'm okay kind of look. So there goes Miranda again. Miranda removes herself from that situation once again, to gather myself. So because I'm not going to do anybody any good freaking out. So I removed myself from the situation again and gathered myself, and then I came back. And then I was able to, give Pearl this emotional support that she needed to help her get through it. So that was Saturday evening. So then they tell me, they're like, yeah, so you'll be able to take her home Monday. I'm like, Monday, like that's 2 days, like she just had surgery. And then there's that whole thing that hit me about aftercare. I'm not sure if I just thought, the vet tech would come home with me and, they would just, take care of the aftercare. But no, that's up to us as horse owners. So she was coming around, so Sunday I drove home that night. I spent the Sunday with her. I drove home that night and we had to set up our barn. She needed to be in a 12x12 stall and couldn't walk, right? Like she was supposed to stay as stationary as she could for the first, I think it was week or something like that. So we had to go and fix our barn, not fix it, but arrange our barn to have a stall, big enough and small enough for her. And we wanted to have 2 stalls because I wanted to have one of our other horses in there with her, because our horses aren't used to being stalled like that alone. So we had to go home and make 2 pens, and get everything ready for her to come home.